Hello everyone, welcome back to lesson 7 of the Master Zotero 7 series. If you have missed the earlier lessons, please find the link to the playlist on the screen and in the description. In this lesson, we will see 3 very helpful but somewhat under-publicized features in Zotero 7. We will explore how to set up and use feeds from inside Zotero. We will see how to create reports, and we will also see how to install and use plugins. So without further ado, let's get into it. With so much material being published every day in your field of interest, it is not easy to stay abreast with the latest research papers, blog posts, or articles. Setting up a feed magically solves this problem by bringing the latest research from your favorite journals or websites right inside Zotero. This is such a useful and empowering feature that once you set up a few feeds, you will see its utility right away. Let me show you. So I'm currently at the website of Oxford Academic, and they publish a journal in climate change. As you can see here, volume 4, issue 1, 2024 is the latest issue. So what I want to do now is that I'm interested in this journal because good papers are published here, and this is a field of my interest. So whenever a new issue is published, I want to receive all the articles, abstracts, or maybe even full text of papers if it's an open journal, delivered right inside my Zotero. So to set up a feed, the only thing that we need is what is known as a RSS link. And RSS here stands for really simple syndication. It's like a small file that journal publishers create to push the latest content. If you have a RSS feed reader, you can see all that latest content inside your feed reader. And thankfully, Zotero has a built-in feed reader. So to set up a feed inside Zotero for this journal, all I need is an RSS link. So all major journals have this RSS feed. You will also find them on blog sites. You will also find them on government websites. Sometimes it may take you a little patience to find them, but for most of the journals, they are there. So all I need to do to set up a feed inside Zotero is to right-click on the RSS feed and copy the link. Once I have this link, I can head back to Zotero and quickly set up my RSS feed. So I'm back inside Zotero, and to set up an RSS feed, I need to go to File and then choose New Library. You will see 2 options here. We are going to pick up New Feed, and then inside New Feed, again 2 options. We are going to pick up the first one from URL, and the moment you click on that, you see this small dialog box here. So all you need to do is to just paste in the URL of the RSS feed that you copied from that website. So I'm going to go ahead and press Ctrl V, and the moment I paste that particular link here, the title is automatically picked up by Zotero. There's an advanced options button here. So when you click on it, you will see some options here. Once you set up this feed, it will be updated every 1 hour. You can change it from here. If you have read a particular feed post, it will be deleted after 3 days. And if you have not read any post, it will be deleted after 30 days. So you can change all these parameters from here. So let's close this, and I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And you will see that a new feed appears in your left pane. And when you click on this feed, you will see all the latest papers that have been published in that particular journal. That is Oxford Academic Climate Change Journal, delivered right inside Zotero. So as I mentioned before, every 1 hour, this feed is going to check with the website if something new has come. So you will notice that all these items are in bold. So this indicates that all these items are currently unread. And when you click on any item that you would like to explore further, for example, I'm interested in this article, heat waves and what is happening to coral reefs. So when I click on it, you will see all details about this particular paper here. And you will notice that this is now being displayed in normal text. It's not bold, which indicates that you have read this particular item. And you will recall from the previous advanced options that anything that is marked as read will be removed from this particular feed in 3 days or any number of days that you choose. So just reading this feed does not mean that it has been included in your My Library. If you feel interested in this particular item, all you need to do to add this to your My Library is to come to the right hand side and click on this particular button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add to My Library button. And you will see a small message appearing at the bottom of your screen informing you that it is saving this item to My Library. And the full text of this article is also being saved because it is an open access journal. And as I head back to My Library, you will see that this paper is available right here. And the full text of this paper is also available. When I click on this, I can read the full text of this paper right inside Zotero. So feeds are such a great way of keeping abreast with the latest developments in your particular field. So as you will notice that this is now being displayed in normal text because this item has been read. If you right click on this item, you can view this item online, or you can even go ahead and mark this as unread. So if I wanted to, I can do that, and it's back again in bold. And the implication here is that as the status is now changed back to not read, it will remain inside this particular feed for 30 days. If I right click on it and mark this as read, it will be here in my box for the next 3 days. So you can keep reading items that are of interest, and you can then just go ahead and add them to My Library. So you are not just limited to one feed. You can set up as many feeds of as many journals or websites as you want. Let's quickly set up one more. So this time around, rather than choose a journal, I'm on a website of an organization that works for nature conservation and publishes articles on conservation topics through their blogs. So as I reach this site, up front, I cannot locate any RSS feed links. Sometimes the RSS feed link is coupled with the social media icons on sites. So I will have to don my detective hat and scroll down to the very bottom of this page and try to see if I can get anywhere. I'm looking for RSS feed button. So as I reach the bottom of this page, you will see that I have hit gold and I have got a RSS button right here. So I'm going to come here and click on this button. And on this page, you will see that they are writing blogs on climate change, oceans, biodiversity, and science. And we are spoiled for choice here. We can either choose an RSS feed that will cover topics from all these blogs, or otherwise just simply choose one of them. So for this example, let me choose oceans. So I'm going to right click and copy this particular link. And we can now head back to Zotero and create a feed inside Zotero. So we are back inside Zotero. We'll now choose File, New Library, and then New Feed, and choose from URL and paste the link that we had copied from the website. You will see that the title is automatically taken. Just come here and click on OK. And now you have a new feed from this particular site. And these are all the articles that they have published. And anything that you want to keep inside your library, just click on the Add to My Library icon and you are done. And that item will be added to your My Library. So you can have as many feeds as you want. If you don't want to continue with the feed, just right click on that particular feed. And here you can see that you have an option called as unsubscribe from feed. So when you click on it, you will be unsubscribed from this feed. This is not the same as deletion, because when you unsubscribe from the feed, it's not going to land up in trash. You're just simply removing that feed from your feed collection. Some other options that you see after right clicking on any feed, you can edit the feed. So if suppose, for example, if a link has changed or something, you can paste it back in again. And you can mark the entire feed as read. So if you click on this, all items inside the feed will now be marked as read. Of course, you can click on any item and press Ctrl A to select all of them and right click and mark them as unread. So earlier on, I told you that you can change these from the advanced options as you are setting up a feed. These default values are coming from edit settings. And once you are inside settings, you can click on this advanced option and scroll right down. And you will see that these numbers are coming from here. So if you change this, every time you set up a feed, the default values will be what you have entered here. And you can also set up the manner in which the feeds are sorted and displayed to you. Newest items first or oldest items first from this particular setting. So in summary, all that you need to set up a feed inside Zotero is a RSS feed link. All major journal publishers have this displayed on the journal homepage, either as an orange icon which kind of resembles a Wi-Fi icon, or as a text link as can be seen here. You can also find it on government websites at the top or bottom of the page. You just might have to look for it a bit, and when you find it, do click on it once to see if it leads to a dedicated RSS feeds page, as is the case here, from where you can copy feed links in various subjects from that particular site. You can also find RSS feeds using Google. Just type in the term that you are looking for and follow it up with RSS feeds, and then just go ahead and search. So you will find a lot of feeds on that particular subject, and some of these feeds are direct, so you can just go there and explore this yourself, or otherwise you can just explore some of these sites like FeedSpot. So as you scroll down, you might find something of interest. So I can see that Google has an AI blog which has an RSS feed, and MIT has an artificial intelligence news blog. So clicking on these feed aggregator sites will actually require you to log in, etc. But you have gained valuable information that MIT News carries an artificial intelligence blog that has an RSS feed. Now you can just type in MIT News artificial intelligence in Google, and I've done that, and I can now directly reach that particular site. So when I click on it, you will see that right on top, we have 3 feed links, and I can right click and copy this link and then create a feed inside Zotero. So you can use Google to look for RSS feed links on the topic of your choice as well. So let's now talk about creating reports. So to create a report, we need to select a few items. Let me start by doing that. So let me click on this item, and you will notice that this particular paper, Jasanoff, also has a note that I have written when I was reading this paper. So I've selected Jasanoff. Let me select a few more. Press the Control key and click on Bartman. Then Lawrence. Let me scroll down. Maybe this paper, and this paper. So I have 6 journal articles that I have selected. I can keep on selecting more. So once you've selected all these items, all you need to do is to just right click and then come here right at the bottom and click on Generate Report from Items. So you will see here that a report has been generated. I'll just talk about this report in a second. What you can also do is right click on any one of these items and then add them to a collection. So this is a little more convenient, and you can go ahead and click on New Collection and give it a name. So I'm calling this project, and go ahead and create a collection. So now that you have a collection and these papers are reflecting inside that collection, you can right click and come here and generate a report from collection. Either ways, the exact same report is created. So let's now see what this report contains and how this report can be useful. So as you can see, this report has the title of each paper, and the first one is Jasanoff's paper, A New Climate for Society. You will see all citation fields included here in this report, including an abstract. And as you scroll down, you will see that it's also showing you any tags that you have associated with this particular item. And then if you have attached any notes with this particular item, in this particular case, as I have mentioned before, I had created a note when I was reading this paper summarizing the key points. So contents of that note are also included here. If there are any other attachments, they are also included here. This is indicating that a PDF is available for this particular item via Google Scholar. And then you see this solid line, and you are moving on to the next item, the title of the paper, all citation fields, including abstracts. There are no tags that I have associated with this particular paper, no notes. You are moving on to the next paper, and so on and so forth. So all 6 papers have been included in this particular report. So how can this report be useful? So this report can be very useful in a couple of ways. So say, for example, I wanted to read the abstract of all these papers, but I never found the time and I am now traveling. So I have created a report of all these papers and I have abstracts for all of them, and I will have time in the flight. So what I can do is I can come to File and I can just simply print it and take a hard copy or save it as a PDF and then carry that along with me. And then I can quickly read abstracts for each of these papers one after the other. And that can save me a lot of time. If I have a hard copy, I can also make notes in the margins and so on and so forth. So this is one way in which reports can be really useful and save you a lot of time. The second way this can be very useful is for educators. So let's say, for example, you want to give an assignment and you want to teach students how to research a topic and collect references on that particular topic, and also create tags for each of these references that they have collected. So you can give them a topic to research and ask them to collect 10 references, for example, on that particular topic, and create meaningful tags, maybe even write notes for each of those items, summarizing key points in that particular paper, and then ask students to create a report inside Zotero and submit that particular report. So once you get these submissions, you can then evaluate them and see when this item was added inside Zotero, what were the tags that the student attached with this particular item. And if you ask them to create summary notes for each paper, you can also read what notes they have created. So this can be a really good tool to educate people how to collect references for topics, how to tag them, how to bring them inside Zotero. So this report feature can be very useful for educators. If you are working in a library, you can create reports on different topics and share them with your colleagues, or for that matter, with faculty and students of the university. So reports can be very useful and helpful. The last feature that I wish to cover in this lesson is plugins or add-ons. Zotero has a thriving user and developer community, and they have written many plugins that extend the capability of Zotero to accomplish specific tasks. Let me show you how you can install and use plugins with an example. So to install an add-on or a plugin, you just need to come to Tools and then click on Plugins. So this takes you to the Manage Your Plugins dialog screen. Here you'll find a link to a page that has a collection of Zotero plugins. So just click on this. So as you can see on your screen, you are taken to the Zotero website and the plugins page. And there are quite a few plugins that you can actually use. Now, one important point that I would like to mention here with reference to Zotero 7 is that the architecture of plugins in Zotero 7 has been changed. So some of the plugins that you may see on this list may not actually work with Zotero 7. Plugin developers are catching on fast, and they are converting their old plugins to conform to Zotero 7 guidelines. Nevertheless, you have a very big list of plugins that you can actually use from here. So let's take the example of one plugin and install that plugin inside Zotero 7. And the process for installing any plugin that you might want to use from this list will be exactly the same. So I'm going to use this PDF Translate as an example. And as you can see, it provides PDF translation for the built-in PDF reader in Zotero 6. Now, I know for a fact that this plugin has been updated for Zotero 7. Just click on this to reach the website of the plugin. As you scroll down, you come across a quick start guide and you can see more details about this particular plugin. So here you are going to see a link that says latest release page. So just simply click on this and you will be taken to the latest release page. And we are actually interested in just one single file, and that file has an extension of .xpi. So this is the file that we want to download, and you will also see that the recent update has been for Zotero 7. So this was updated just 4 days ago. So you can just click on this particular file, translate for Zotero.xpi, and this file will be downloaded, as you can see here. So once the file has been downloaded, you can come back to Zotero and click on this gear icon. and then just choose install plugin from file. So when you click on this and navigate to the place where you had downloaded the XPI file, you can just point to that particular file and open it, and your plugin will be installed. So Translate for Zotero plugin has been installed. And as you can see, the Translate for Zotero plugin can translate PDFs, EPUBs, web pages, annotation, notes from one language to the other language. So this is a really handy plugin to have. You'll also see some buttons here. So you can enable or disable the plugin from here. And you can click on these three dots to manage the plugin. So you have some information here and some controls here, or otherwise remove the plugin if you want to get rid of it altogether. So I've installed this plugin, and let me just show you a few settings for this particular plugin. So you can come to edit and click on settings, and you will see that a new setting tab has been added here. So you can just click on this and you will see a large number of settings that you can alter from here. You can read them later on. The one that I want to particularly point out is that you can set a default language. So in this particular case, for example, I have set this to Spanish, but you can choose any language that you want. Here you can also see that there are some translation services that you can use. By default, it uses Google API, but there are others that you can try for your particular needs. So once you have installed the plugin, let's just try this out. So to try out this plugin, let's just open a PDF. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this paper. And so this paper opens up, and you will notice here that a new button has been added here. This is Translate. So clicking on this takes you to the Translate section, and here you can see some buttons for translation. So I'm going to right click and pin this section because we'll be using this section in this example. So what the Translate plugin does for you is that if you wanted to translate any particular paragraph from this paper into your language, in this particular case Spanish, just select this paragraph. For example, if I wanted to get the gist of what is written here in the abstract in Spanish, I've just selected this paragraph, and as I release my left mouse button, you will see that the paragraph has been translated from English to Spanish. As I click anywhere in this PDF, that window is gone, but the translation for the previous paragraph is still here. I can just simply click on this result button here in the copy row to copy this on the clipboard and paste it inside any place that I want it to be. Pressing the raw copy button would copy the English part that you translated into Spanish, and clicking on both will copy both the English and the Spanish or translated parts. As you copy another paragraph, you will see that that paragraph is now translated. So to override this behavior, which means that whenever you highlight a paragraph, a translation is immediately provided in your default language. You can just come here and uncheck this. So next time when you highlight a paragraph, instead of seeing the translation, you will see this translate button here. And when you click on this button, then the translation will actually take place. So switching off the auto translate selection button permits you to change the language from the set default language and gives you the option to choose to translate in a different language. Let me show this to you. So once you have switched off your selection option here from the auto translate row, just come here and clear everything from these two boxes and click here to get rid of this box. You can now come here and choose a different language. Say, for example, I can choose Farsi. So once you have done this, you can just come here and select the paragraph. And when you click on translate, you will see that the selected paragraph has been translated into a different language. Clear this box once again, uncheck the selection, come here and choose a different language. This time around, I'm doing French. And you can then just select your paragraph and then click on translate, and you will see that the paragraph is translated now in French. So switching this off permits you to change the language from the set default language. You can switch on the concatenate mode So you can just come here and check this one on. And what this means basically is that as you keep selecting more paragraphs and translating them, it will keep adding the translations to this particular box. The previous translations are maintained, and you can just keep doing this again and again. And as you translate, you will see more has been added to this particular box. So checking this on means that as you keep adding more paragraphs, the translations get incorporated and added to the previous ones. If this is unchecked, then only the latest one is reflected here. So by concatenating, you have converted quite a few paragraphs into another language, and then you can just simply copy the result and paste it wherever you want. So let me clear this. What can also happen with translate is that you can choose annotation from here. And say, for example, if you had an annotation, let's say, for example, we had annotated this paragraph. So we have an annotation here. So whenever this is checked, it automatically translates every annotation into this particular language. You can click here and expand these. And when you click outside, this gets collapsed once again. So this is just an example of how plugins work. And we have seen this using the Translate for Zotero plugin. So you can explore more plugins from this particular list. If you are using Zotero 7, just make sure that plugin is working for Zotero 7. Otherwise, you'll have to wait for a little while for the developers to convert the plugin to Zotero 7. Or if it is something urgent, you might want to install Zotero 6 and use these plugins there. The process is exactly the same. Just click on a particular plugin. You are taken to the GitHub page. Just scroll down, read about that particular plugin. As you can see, this plugin has also been ported to Zotero 7. So you're going to see a link for latest release. Just click on that and you're taken to the latest release. Download the XPI file and install the downloaded file inside Zotero by clicking on this and installing the plugin from the file. Point to the downloaded file and that plugin will be installed inside Zotero. So there is a good resource that you can check out called as Awesome Zotero. And this lists plugins that are very useful, and they have also been converted to Zotero 7 mostly. So you can come to this page and check some of these plugins out. I will include the link to this particular resource in the description. And there's one plugin that is interesting, and this is Zotero Add-ons plugin. So you can check this plugin out as well. And this plugin allows direct installation of other add-ons to Zotero 7. So you can download the latest XPI file from here and then install this and check this plugin out. It has around 40 to 45 plugins that work with Zotero 7. So this is how you can install plugins and use plugins inside Zotero. So this brings us to the end of this lesson. In the next and final lesson in this series, that is lesson 8, I will be talking about how you can back up your Zotero library, both offline and online by creating a Zotero account, and how you can share your collections with other people, and how you can access your Zotero library on other computers and devices using the online account. So I hope this video was useful. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Many thanks for watching.